of the hard work of our students that we just had a privilege to have as our both customers, because we are privately for-profit company, but also companions and learners and students and friends, if I dare to say that. Now, just a little bit of a background. Craft Academy is a training provider, a company that allows people to transition into the IT industry, given that they have the interest, the time, and the ability to process a lot of information and work really, really hard to achieve their goals. And we run a 12-week-long, very intensive course that we call the Full Stack Web Developer Bootcamp, where we cover a lot of topics ranging from front-end development to back-end development and project management skills and so on. And the course itself is extremely practically oriented. It takes the students through a very extensive curriculum to the end of the road that is finished by a final project, a capstone project. And that's why we gather here today, actually, because this time around, these young gentlemen had an opportunity to work with a real client and build a real application that will go into production and become a software as a service that will be used by, hopefully, well, millions of people. And I will leave the floor to Jens Østgaard, who is that client. He was gracious enough to put his trust into this group of young people to build his product. And for that, of course, I want to thank him, but also allow him to introduce the team and introduce the product itself. So Jens, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Thomas, and thank you, team. So briefly, my name is Jens, as Thomas said, and I'm running businesses within property and private offices mainly in the West Coast in Gothenburg. So we see a need post-pandemic change in the need for finding flexible office spaces, and that traditional services online we saw that we could add something to that to help scale-ups and startups and any company, honestly, to find the perfect office solution. So I was connected to this team, thanks by Thomas, and we have for a couple of weeks now worked together closely. Besides being an entrepreneur and a businessman, I'm interested in UX, branding, and design. So I have been trying to work together closely with the team. So front and back end architecture, we have done all of that in a very short amount of time. So that's maybe a short summary, Thomas, of what we're looking at today. I'm very glad to be here and to have had this opportunity to work with the team. It's a really strong need, and it's great to be able to launch an MVP, as we say, a minimum viable product, to see if we have a product market fit today or the coming weeks. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Jens, for that introduction. I will now leave the floor to a very nervous bunch of people. Let's see what you guys came up with. Take it away.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Like Thomas said, we have been through an intense 12-week bootcamp here at Craft Academy. We have worked on a lot of different projects throughout the bootcamp. And for the last 2 weeks, we have been working on our final project. That is what we are going to show you guys today. Let's see if I can switch here. Yes. So the task was to deliver a web-based application for a startup in Gothenburg. That's FlexCoast. and we got this opportunity to work closely with the clients, and it has been really fun and educational. We have learned a lot from this experience, so thank you for that. And we have a working prototype for you guys to show you, and Seva is gonna talk you through it.
Yes, thank you, Krister. So, as already been said, in the course of 2 weeks, we had to build a web application for FlexCoast to help them provide companies and entrepreneurs with flexible contracts for city center offices or co-working spaces in post-COVID era. The requirements were so that application had to have friendly, welcoming vibe that is professional but not too corporate. And the main feature had to be a wizard or a questionnaire that looks like a chat with Gothenburg's office market specialist that asks customer a short set of questions about what kind of office space they are looking for and sends the collected data to FlexCoast broker so that he or she can start looking for an office that satisfies clients' needs. To improve efficiency of managing inquiries and improve customer service, a simple client relation management system had to be developed that takes care of inquiry management, automated email and notification distribution, and display of statistics of user interaction with the application. So now, by the end of 2 weeks, we provide a deployed working prototype that captures core requirements and demonstrates the workflow of inquiry creation and customer interaction. So let's go to demonstration. I give word to Kim. Take it away, Kim.
So, yeah. So here I am, a freshly graduated full stack developer from Craft Academy, and eager to get out in the business. So I head over to this new site, FlexCoast. You can see here that is in Swedish, so I'm gonna change it to English for now. And you can read a flexible office space in beautiful Gothenburg. Sounds nice, kind of what I want. So your focus is to build an awesome company. Our focus is to find the best office for you and your team. So that's good. And some quotes here from some people at the offices. And some nice information about it, like any space, from a single desk all the way up to a configure office on your terms, month, quarter, or longer periods. Best locations, so shows place from most beautiful parts from of Gothenburg. And here we have some more testimonials. Always nice to see people like it. And a map of some of the office spaces. We can press it and we can see some information about it. The service we provide a high-end office space in Gothenburg with flexible condition and contracts. So it's nice. So you gotta get started. So how big is my team? I gotta say 1 for now. What type of office are you looking for? Combined? Where can we reach you? Reach me as office. Luke. Live.se. And would you like to share info with others from your industry? Yeah, I'm open-minded. Where would you like to be situated? What do you take? Järntorget, Gamlestan. Sounds good. Do you plan to work full-time or flexible hours? Well, since it's a startup, I think it can be mixed, some full-time and some flexible. When do you plan to move in? Actually, I'm not sure. It's good with some variation and not some flexible options. Oh yeah, I should change. I remember, this is not my email here. It should be this business book. That's the one. So we can edit our options afterwards. It's nice. And my number is Then we send it off. And we got a nice little acceptance message. Thank you for your answer. We will get back to you as soon as possible with the best results. So that's the part of the front end. So now we're going to send it back to David, who has the admin side.
Yes. Thank you, Kim. Yes, here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is David. And I will present to you the admin surface. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, sorry. I will present to you the admin interface of our product. This mostly will be used by the product owners and the brokers. The product owner will be able to see the application analytics and inquiries, and the brokers would be able to manage interactions with their clients. So here is the main page to enter to this. I'll just type in my credentials. You see I'm logged in as Johanna. Here is business look. We can see the listings here. These are the brokers who are connected to these inquiries. The inquiry date, which can be changed. The emails here, which is easy to find. We thought it's a very good idea to have it here. We've got sorting things to here. If something is done, we don't have mixed up everything. So just remove done ones so it won't interrupt with the other ones, which is pending or started. Now we go to not assigned inquiry here. It says there are one people here. There's one person only. That's interesting. I will be broker now. I can see that the inquiry wants only one place at the office. It can be combined. It means he or she may want to sit with open spaces maybe. Yes, it's flexible, so it will be full time, and it's he wants in Untitled. Okay, the phone number is here, so I can start it. Maybe call him. You never know. We have logs here that shows everything we do. Everything we do with inquiry, the logs shows here whenever and who has done it with. You can see it started, inquiry was submitted to. We can write some notes if we talk to the client, and he or she wants has some special needs maybe. So we just write it down here. Okay, and then we have analytics dashboard for our admin. This will show how many people are has joined the website. This will be this is the wizard inquiry. Wherever people answer the questions, this is really good for future. So you will see what question are they jumping out. So it will be improved. It will be easy to improve in future. So as you can see, there is like 9 people, 8 people, 7, 5, and then in the end, only 3 people submitted the question. So we can find out where do they jump off and change this question maybe in future. There is another thing that we did here. It's called we can export this to a HubSpot. We want our client to work fully with their clients, so we had to build integration to HubSpot. HubSpot is a great CRM platform that has tools and integrations that is needed for marketing, sales, content management, for customer service. So we can export this inquiry to HubSpot, and it says successfully added to HubSpot. We go there. I have it already open here. Can refresh it. This is an old one. And this is our inquiry that I already push to the hotspot. There's a telephone number, it's not a sign, and all the small details. Yes, that was it. And Lucas will continue after me.
Yes, I will, indeed. We have here presented the visual and all the functional aspects of our application. So it's time to dive under the hood a little bit and look into the tech and the methodology that has made it possible for us to reach this functionality that you just saw. And one of the primary processes that has guided our hand throughout, I guess, the whole bootcamp, but also especially these last 2 weeks, is something we refer to as test-driven development, which entails that we write our tests first before actually writing the code or the implementation of the functionality. So what that does is that it forces us to kind of plan ahead and to think carefully about what it is that we want to write before actually writing it, so we don't dive head first into and make a mess out of ourselves. So ultimately, what this does is, a lot less bugs in our code, and also that with every new iteration of new functionality, every time we add another feature to our project, it will be more seamless, because this will now be implemented on top of something that has already been fully tested and documented. So it will be much easier to get new features out. And speaking of this iteration flow, there is, or the iteration is a term that is one of the core principles, something that's called agile development, which is another thing that we have really sworn to over the whole bootcamp. And just shortly on that, I think the main takeaways in this project and the whole bootcamp is that we work in these relatively short loops. So it's all about getting a small chunk of functionality done, and then getting feedback on whether on how it performs, and that goes together with being in continuous communication at all times with the client or whoever we are making these softwares with, so that both expectations, the previous expectations, the one that was kind of handled in the beginning, but also new expectations and new changes, they meet what we deliver at all times, because we keep a short feedback loop on our things. So that was a little bit about the methodology. So if we move down just one layer, and it's going to get a little more hairy here, but I won't be going into too much detail, but just a few words on the practical tools that we built this project on. We can start with the backend, where we wrote it in a language called Ruby, which is something that's fairly similar to another thing that's called Python. I don't know, maybe that makes more sense to you, and Python is a little more familiar, but these two are fairly similar in their logic. And then with Ruby, we have a framework called Ruby on Rails. And shortly, Rails is providing this very intuitive coding flow, which means that we can spit out features quicker, something we call rapid application development, which means that basically we'll have a shorter time to market, because we can deliver quicker through the logic of and the framework of Rails. And if we move over to the two front-end clients, they have been built with React.js, which is a very popular library for building user interfaces. And why we use React is because it makes interactivity really easy to implement. Like, we can create dynamic and powerful features rather quick. So we are glad to use React. And finally, of course, there's a few other noteworthy functionality. We saw the analytics that we've kind of built our own little version of Google's analytics, you could say, where we have built-in triggers that we then store, and then we accumulate them, and then we display them eventually. So even though you shouldn't, of course, reinvent the wheel, we're kind of proud of these small chunks of functionality that we were able to build. The mailing system as well, Slack notifications. But of course, even with all that done, there's always room for future improvements, for dreams, which is exactly what Arun will be talking about now. Next.
Thank you, Lucas, and good afternoon, everyone. So now I will talk about possible future improvements. So one of the improvements could be to provide an interface for office providers so they can manage the listing of different offices at different locations. And the other one could be to make a desktop application version of a broker interface with Electron software framework. That will be very interesting, and to do that in the future. And next can be to improve our wizard, and so it can interact based on user inputs, and we can based on is like wizard interaction on user's input by implementing state machine technology by using XState library on React. And next could be provide automation suggestions to brokers based on users' inquiries, like then the user sent his inquiry and then the broker received, and then so they can get the listing of offices according to the inquiry, so they know like what our user want. So so what locations we have for them already in that area. That could be a future improvement. And the last one is could be a live notification of ongoing inquiries with the possibility for an agent to jump and interact with the user in a live setting. So, you know, if you have some other question, then our brokers can give them live answers on the live chat, kind of. So these all can be the future improvements. And after me, now my friend Luke will take from here. Thank you.
Afternoon, everyone. I'm going to take you through what we call a retrospective, which we have done throughout the bootcamp every 2 weeks, where we go through our blockers, our good points, and what we can do moving forward. It's a good way to stay current with what we've delivered. So we're going to continue with it in this project as well. And the blockers, I think we all had a bit of an issue in the beginning, trying to take Jens's idea and vision and making it into a website. We'd spent the last 10 weeks creating things almost by ourselves in terms of design, and then Jens comes in and goes, "Oh, I want it like this." So we were all a bit sort of blinded by that, but we got there. DevOps, which is a hard thing to explain, but it includes our planning, how we set up our environments, etc. We had a few issues with that, and I can say we were coding until about 30 seconds before we all jumped into this meeting to get it fixed. And naming standards comes under that umbrella as well. There was a few things that weren't quite named the same and caused a few issues. The good, well, we deployed a prototype for an actual client. I mean, there's not much better than that, I don't think, especially after, I think we can all say we didn't expect to do something like that at the start of this bootcamp. And we developed it as a team and did it in an actual work environment, working closely with the ants. We've had a few meetings over the last few weeks to really hammer out the nit and grit of this website. Moving forward, This goes to on sort of Monday when we all slept for the first time in a while. We keep practicing those fundamentals. We keep coding, and I think we're all looking forward to remembering what the sun feels like, because we've not really been outside for the last 4 months. And that's our retro. I think the only thing I'd like to add is like, Jens, I'd like on behalf of the team to thank you for giving us this opportunity to develop and build this site for you and FlexCoast. It's been invaluable for us, I think, going forward in our careers. And Thomas for getting us this far. I don't think we would have without you, for sure. Yeah, that's it from me and the team. I can pass it back over to you, Thomas.
Well, thank you very much. And I don't know if this is actually possible, but if people would unmute themselves, we could give these guys a round of applause. If you want to do that with me, I would really appreciate it. All right. That was the best round of applause I've ever seen in a Zoom meeting under the entire pandemic. So thank you very much for that. And you are getting some cheers from our viewers over in chat and in Twitch as well. So thank you very much. I'm blown away. Jens, I will leave it over to you for a few seconds so I can catch my breath.
Thank you, Thomas. No, I'm super impressed as well, as you can tell. Having the opportunity to start small, but with great team, to fail fast and to learn fast. That's really how you start a company or a service in a way that I appreciate and that I like. Further down the road, you can put in some venture capital. You can put in like you have other processes maybe, but in the very beginning of a service for a company like this, it's very valuable to work together with a great team like this. And I will say also that I will give credits also to you, Thomas, because you won't do it yourself. So I will tell you, like Craft Academy, that is like educating developers and engineers. The world is lacking. I think Europe is lacking like around 1 million developers, and Sweden, I don't know, between 50,000 and 100,000 developers. Correct me if I'm wrong. So not only are you doing me and FlexCoast, not only are you helping us with a great start, but by educating yourselves and getting into software development, you also you will play a key role in our current time. So that's also really cool. So yeah, thank you. Thanks Craft Academy, and thank you to the software team. I would love to see if we can work together, some of us, like down the road. For now, this was a project with a start and an end, but I'm sure we'll have dialogue, Thomas. We'll figure that out as well, because we really, of course, are happy to have the skilled tech people with us further down the road. So.
Thank you very much for those kind words, Jens, and thank you again for allowing this team to work on this idea, which I personally I'm very impressed, and I think that the idea itself is great in so many ways, but also in its simplicity and the market fit that has emerged during the last years of the very dynamic environment within the startup world, but also combined with the very unfortunate situation that we've all been faced with, which is the pandemic, of course. So let's not forget that it's a very serious issue that we've been through, and many lives have been affected. Now, thank you for acknowledging the hard work of these people, Jens, and thank you everyone that has taken the opportunity to come here and view this with us. Now, for me personally, this is actually quite emotional. I've been running this bootcamp for 6 years, and every time we are in this situation where we are, graduating a new bunch of developers and letting them off from this Craft Academy bubble out in the world, it's quite emotional, because we've been working so intensely together, so closely together over three months, and it might not sound like a very long time, but if you spend so much time together with people during the day, I meet these guys more than I meet my own wife, actually. Then you get attached to them, right? And I am truly impressed with all the things that they've done. You have to remember that 3 months ago they hardly knew about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and now they can do these amazing things. And just so you also understand, the things that you've seen today are just the surface. There is so much things going on underneath the hood that we just can't show you. And if we did show you, you would be bored to death. So we don't want to do that. So that's really intense. And also, and I told this to the guys yesterday, every time I graduate a bunch of developers, I get this feeling of, oh, there is so much else I would love to show you, so many more techniques or interesting ways to use technology that I know about, and that I want you to explore. And I truly just want to finish off with one thing, that I kind of envy you guys, because you went through an experience that I was never given a chance to do. I would have loved to go through a boot camp, but I couldn't, because there was no boot camps back in the days. So I started one instead, right? And I can live my dreams through you. I wish you the best of luck, people. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, and and I speak for the rest of the coaches, the ones that are here today and the ones that couldn't be with you, but took part in your journey. It's been a true privilege to coach you through this journey, and I really want to thank you for that. And I want to wish you the best of luck in your future careers, whatever those careers will take you. I hope you will stick to agile methodologies, test-driven development, iterative incremental design, and all the other stuff that I hammered into you throughout the bootcamp. And Jens, we are standing by and standing ready to take FlexCoast together with you, with your entrepreneurial spirit, to new heights, to the market first, but then to further develop this as your tech team, if you want. And if there's anybody in the audience that are looking for either great developers, there's a bunch of juniors here that could definitely make out a good addition to your team, or Craft Academy as a technology partner is also ready to take on new projects. So don't hesitate to ask. That pretty much wraps it up for us. We have time for some Q&As before the tech team moves on to something they refer to as beer o'clock, which I think involves relaxing a little bit for after hard work. Unless there's any other things. I know that we have some former students with us here as well, and I know that we have some future students with us also. So hopefully you guys can A, relate to your own experience, and B, see what will come ahead the day you join the Craft Academy camp in August. Jens, let's where are we taking FlexCoast?
I was thinking about some things while we were talking, Thomas. Thank you. One of the things I was pondering about is, like, many people wonder, how can I start my own business? How can I start my own company? Those are questions that come often my way. And so actually what we've done here is, like, we went from an idea. I mean, the market kind of changed post-COVID, and then there was this idea. It was actually not purely my idea, because there's a management team, an owner team in FlexCoast as well that you hadn't had the opportunity to meet today, but I want to thank them as well. So we went from an idea to connecting, like you can say, of course, we recruit the tech team. Design we already had, kind of, because you guys helped me, and I have some design experience. We have some market experience from the actual market with office spaces. And then we went from the idea to this little great execution of this MVP. And I mean, starting a company or a service, that's kind of what that is. And then you put in, I don't know, 25,000 Swedish kroner, and you go through a little, you go through a process at verksam.se, which is not very hard. Anyone can do it. And if you can't, you can call me and I will help you. It takes like an hour. And that's kind of how you start a company. You find an idea, you recruit a great team, you do the things you have to do to get the paperwork and the bank connection with the bank in order, and then it's just, in this case, picking up the phone and like delivering office solution on the funnel, because we're going to have a funnel with requests, and that's how you start a company. I got that question last night, even like, how do we do? And I don't. It seems scary and it seems hard. It is like, there are not many written rules, so of course you have to find your own path and your own way. This is kind of a very short summary how you do it. So I just wanted to say that. And how we take it further, well, you had some great points during your presentation, how we can make this more technical advanced, and how we can develop, because as we all know, a digital product, it is born, but it's never ready. So now it is born, and it will grow and it will evolve. I'm really looking forward to seeing that, to see that. And I don't know, it's going to be a service that provides many companies on the west coast of Sweden with a great office space. And I'm just glad that we're positioning ourselves to solve that problem. So.
And in a final you know how it is. You and I, Jens, when we start talking, we can't stop, right? So let me just try to finish a short point and relate back to what the guys went through. Now, it's all in the execution, right? It's as you say, Jens, the bureaucracy in Sweden and in most part of Europe isn't that hard. So starting a new company is easier today than I think it was ever been throughout the modern history. So I believe that. Now, what happens, I believe, is the ability to actually do things, to get things done in without too many costs, too many lead times, and so on. And the thing that we talk about in our camp, which is the agile methodologies and the agile mindset and approach to software development, it plays very well hand in hand with the lean startup kind of ideas, to basically do. And this might sound harsh, but do as little as possible and get as much value out of it as possible, so you can hit the market and actually start to do something and hear whether your customers are even willing to pay for your service or not. And I think that in every business, the first thing that you want to achieve is that somebody pays something for your business, right? Even if it's just 10 crowns or 100 crowns or 1,000 crowns, it doesn't really matter as long as they pay something. But in order to get there, you need to solve a problem, you need to understand the business, and then you need to be able to make it happen. So programming skills, absolutely, really, really important. Business skills, even more important, or at least equally as important. And being able for programmers and developers to understand business and for business people to understand technology is imperative. And that's what we try to achieve here at Craft Academy, to make those connections. And that's why the collaboration with you, Jens, and people like you, business people, is so important for these young developers, because that's what builds experience, and that's what will give them a competitive advantage when they move out on the job market. I can keep on talking, so let's just put a cap on me. Team, do you want to add something at this point? You're speechless.
No,
I understand.
I don't think so. Can we go outside now?
Yes. After all these months, you can finally go outside. Without any further ado, FlexCoast. FlexCoast.se is the website. If you want to know more about this solution, don't hesitate to reach out to us. If you are looking for office space in Gothenburg, use FlexCoast. And if you are looking for a great investment opportunity, talk to Jens. I think that wraps it up for us, people. Right?
Yep.
Super. Thank
Super.
you, Thomas, once again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for
And,
taking
Thanks so
part.
much,
Be
everyone.
cool and be well.
Yes, thank you very much.
All
everyone.
right.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
so
you,
much.
guys.
Goodbye everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And Twitch,
Bye-bye.
I'm gonna say thank you to as well.
Thank you, Mike.
I'm really grateful for you coming by. And you know where to find me if you want to know more about these things. I need that beer as the tech team because I got to tell you, I was as nervous as they were when they were presenting. Oh my God, I'm glad this is over. All right.
Awesome.
There we go. All right. Yep. Be cool, boys.
Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Stay cool.